What's up, dudes? So in this one it's going to be more of a like progress update and what are the plans thus far for the 27. This won't be a build video. I have the build video, or at least build progress, or making things. That'll be in the next video. For now, this video is just going to be about like showing you what the car looks like now, and then we'll kind of go back to like the build progress stuff. I did not film what is in the car right now, as far as like, obviously in the first episode of taking it all apart and getting it ready and all that, I made some new panels, did the base for the tube chassis on the bottom. I didn't film any of that process of doing like the main tube chassis and getting all the other tubes done. Just been so focused on actually getting progress done on the car rather than filming stuff, which sometimes I just do, and kind of sucks because that's content for you guys, but it is what it is. This is just an update and just talking about it. So let's just go over the car and talk about it basically. So yeah, onwards. Obviously, all new chassis. A lot of the reason why I redid the tube chassis this time is because of the geometry was so messed up. I just, rather than chop off the front of the old chassis and fix the suspension, which would have been a lot easier, I figured let's make the chassis look better, let's make it function better, and just an overall like structure appearance thing. So that was the reason for me cutting everything up in the first place and redoing this chassis. You can see on the back end of this car, it doesn't look like a car anymore. It looks kind of odd. People have also commented on the length of the rear tubes and why I did it like this. So the idea for this is to be sort of like a pickup truck or like a trophy truck style rear end, but also implementing some shooting brake style stuff into it, because in the render world, that's like what a lot of these guys do is shooting brakes. So you'll see like shooting brake RX-7s, realistically anything. That these guys think of. But so that was the plan for that, is to be sort of like a pickup truck, but also like a shooting brake pickup truck to kind of like continue the body somewhat, because I am going to sheet over everything and I'm going to get it like boxed in, and that's where kind of the radiator is going to sit in the back. I did 1x3 120 wall tubing on the ground, like for the flat bottom. I wanted this to be as flat and less obstructive as possible on the bottom. This way I could kind of accommodate more things and I can get more head space. Before I used 2x3 tubing and works just the same, but I just wanted something thinner, just something new, something different, rather than that like box square tubing. This is more rectangle tubing, so yeah, it's just all around better for me, better packaging. The car is very small, the car is not big whatsoever, so this just gives me more headspace and more room to work with things. So did that for the bottom, and then obviously what I did was I did a C-pillar tube in the back, but I kind of made it 3 different pieces. And the reason for that was I wanted to have this like certain look going on in the back, kind of like the trophy trucks or whatever, like a pickup truck. Something weird. I just wanted to have something like kind of tie in and just not look like a Model T or any sort of cage, you know, or normal cage or anything like that. So basically I did that, and then I did an A-pillar tube, you know, all one piece, and then I did some B-pillar tubes, and then I kind of connected everything with like a triangulated weird setup in the middle. I also took the time to make everything land in the center of the chassis, as well as center of the body, as well as the center of the X on the front. So it's one of those like little details that you'll never really appreciate it until you actually look at it and see that I made everything kind of center to everything. Obviously a lot of time goes into this with notching. I like to get my notches pretty precise. I like to get my cuts pretty precise. So I take my time, I take my measurements, everything like that. Trying to get a lot of progress done in different areas of this car. This way I can start putting it all back together once it's ready to go together. That was another big thing, was trying to clear up room and get as much room as I can for myself and potentially for a passenger. I would like to take people for rides in this car just because it would be fun, and you know, who doesn't want to ride in this thing? Another thing that you'll notice about the car, and obviously I want to tell you about it, is I cut my driver's side door in half. I guess you could say technically in half. I didn't really get like an overall measurement. I just cut it to where I knew what I was going to use. So basically the idea is the bottom half of the doors, because I am going to do the same thing to the passenger side. The bottom half of the doors is going to get worked, plated, and welded to the Model T body. That way it brings structure back into the body. It kind of keeps it from flexing. I mean, it will still have some flex, obviously, without it being mounted solidly to anything. But it'll just strengthen everything back up that's been cut out and, you know, taken out or whatever. So I'm doing that to both sides, and the top sections that are being used, and actually you'll see in the future why I cut them in half. You'll see, like, it'll make sense once I actually get what my plan is for like the render and everything. So with that being said, I am doing custom work to the upper door sections as far as sheet metal, you know, like plating, just doing all kinds of cool stuff that I can to make this thing like pop a lot more than what it is now. So with that said, I'm also going to make the doors suicide, so the doors will come out and swing out the opposite way rather than like a normal car. I wanted to do it, but I also like wasn't too sure about doing it until my buddy Josh, the guy that does my carbon fiber work, he said, hey, just do suicide doors. Like, that would look so sick and it would be so different from any other Model T out there. And I'm sure some other Model Ts have it, but not a lot of them do, is what he's basically saying. and I like the idea of it. Plus what I'm doing is I'm getting rid of the factory hinge latch system for this car. It was already kind of gone anyways. Custom door, uppers, custom panels, suicide latch and hinge system, so I will obviously show progress on that when the time comes. And then we're gonna do carbon fiber work to this car, a whole lot of carbon fiber work. So with my whole aero kit, I want to do out of either aluminum or carbon fiber. With all of my like the doors, we're gonna get those smoothed up and body worked, and we're gonna do splash molds on those. We're gonna make some pretty nice carbon fiber doors that aren't gonna be flimsy either. We're not doing, I mean, race car stuff is race car stuff, you know, save weight any way you can, but they still will be light and lighter than the original door, but we don't want them to be flimsy and floppy, huh? We don't want them to be flimsy and floppy. We want structure back into these so that, you know, they're not that. So I'm trying to get this progress done on the doors right now rather than working on the chassis. This way my dude Josh can get the doors as soon as possible and he can start working his magic on that. And then, you know, obviously during the time that the doors are not on this car, I'll have more progress done on the chassis, hopefully have it done and welded and painted so that it doesn't surface rust or anything, and like sealed up. Hopefully by that time too, I'll have body mounts on. I will have this car basically a roller again, or almost a roller. So he'll take his time on that, and in the meantime, when I start jumping on different panels with the car, then we can start doing other things in carbon fiber, and I will of course send things to Josh. Josh is going to, well, I'm going to fabricate a whole new roof system on this car that will kind of feed into the radiator, into the back, with a scoop or like Nakaduck something or others. I still need to figure out what I'm going to do for a scoop, and like good look, you know. So I'm going to figure that out eventually, but brand new roof, and then, you know, body work and everything, and that will get carbon fibered as well, because I don't want a heavy roof either, whatever. So big plans with that. And then of course, like I said, with my aero kit, I do not want the aero kit to be heavy, so aluminum if need be, carbon fiber if we must. Definitely want to do carbon fiber just because that's like a big flex, obviously. So yeah, a lot's gonna come with this car, and I don't want to show you guys the rendering right now. I do have it very rough, but I do have my ideas on what I'm gonna do with it. I just do not want to kind of like show that right now, just because I want it to be more of a surprise, if anything, just because it's gonna be a lot different than what I intended. So still race car vibes, it's just different, very different. So you'll see in the future, but yeah, a lot of work been done to this car. You know, obviously no build progress has been made, we're just kind of talking about it right now, but yeah, it's getting somewhere. I'm doing good things, I guess. This car will be very ugly, but very pretty. A whole mix of everything, I guess. I'm not too sure. Just this very weird concept in my head, so you guys will see. Plan is SEMA 2023. I already have everything kind of like laid out for that. I will not be running the wheels and tires that are on this car that you see kind of sitting on the subframes. This is just for me having them, you know, be movable but also set up, because it's easier to set them up that way so that you get them flat to the ground. New wheels, new tires, a lot lighter package for those so that there's less rotational mass with the car, because race car things, obviously, you want things to be lighter and less stress on the drivetrain. Yeah, more of an update video, more of like a beauty footage, B-roll thing. And then the next video will be build progress, and I'll kind of show like me putting together the front structure, and then we'll obviously go from there. Doing the door bars, doing the rear section, mounting everything. I'll try and film everything as best as I can. I just was too focused on building all this structure rather than filming it. But I think that's it for now. More of an update, more B-roll footage, like I said. I'm gonna end it off here just because I don't want this video to be too long with not really much happening other than me talking. Unless you guys enjoy me talking, which I really doubt. Subscribe, share, do all the things if you can. Anything is appreciated. But I will catch you guys in the next one. For now, peace, love, and chicken grease. Bye.